The Bullfighting Princess by Scott Shelton.
Once upon a time, in a far-off kingdom, there lived a princess named Araceli. Her father adores her more than anything in the world and wanted her to be the most beautiful and perfect princess imaginable. Thus, he hired the best teachers in every subject, including a ballet instructor, so she would become a graceful ballerina, dancing for all to see. However, Princess Araceli had dreams of her own, dreams of becoming a bullfighter and battling ferocious bulls in the arena. Even more, she dreamed of fighting bulls side by side with the best bullfighter in the land, Matador Alejandro. She would put horns on the chairs in her room and pretend they were bulls. "Toro, Toro," Araceli would call out to her make-believe bulls. She would run a tablecloth over a chair and shout, "Olé!" before turning to hear the imaginary applause from an imaginary crowd. But the princess did not know how to tell her father that she wanted to be a bullfighter, so she kept it to herself.
"You are the most beautiful princess in all the world,"
the king would proudly tell her, with all the natural affection a father has for his daughter. But Araceli's desire to be a bullfighter and her love for Alejandro were too much. So one day, Princess Araceli snuck out of the castle disguised as a villager and went to the bullfighting arena. She could not let anyone know that she was a princess because she was afraid her father would find out and be angry with her. When she got to the arena, she told the manager that she wanted to be a bullfighter. However, he did not take her seriously because no woman had ever trained to be a bullfighter. Instead, he decided to play a mean trick on Araceli and sent her to work as a stable hand at the ranch.
"All the best bullfighters start their training as stable hands, even the great Alejandro," he told her.
Once at the ranch, Araceli was given the hard tasks of cleaning the stables and feeding the bulls, the cows, and their calves. As she was throwing hay into a pen, she spotted Alejandro across the stable. Distracted, she accidentally let go of the hay fork, and it went flying into the pen of a young calf. When she tried to reach in to get the hay fork, she fell into the pen. She was terrified and could not move as a calf came toward her. But when he got next to her, he only licked her face and wanted to be scratched behind the ears.
"I see you have met Bellicoso,"
a man's voice said from behind her, but Araceli was afraid to look away from the calf. "He doesn't look as terrifying as his name," Araceli answered, as the calf licked her face again.
"Bellicoso will only frighten you if you don't like being licked in the face. It's hard to believe that he is the son of Peligro, the fiercest bull in all the world,"
she heard the voice say.
"You are lucky you didn't fall into his pen."
When the man helped Araceli out of the pen, she realized it was Alejandro. He knew the mean trick the manager was playing on her and did not like it. So Alejandro told her to bring Bellicoso to the field and he would teach her some things about bullfighting. The next day, Araceli was waiting in the field with Bellicoso. The calf was nudging Araceli to scratch him behind the ears, which she did to his delight. While scratching him, Araceli looked into the calf's eyes and whispered, "What do you think? Isn't he handsome?"
"I've never heard a calf called handsome before,"
Alejandro said as he appeared from behind Araceli. "Oh, I was just thinking a young bull would be more fierce-looking," she replied.
"Wait till he gets older,"
Alejandro cautioned.
"You must not let the manager know about these lessons,"
he warned Araceli as he handed her his red cape. He showed Araceli how to direct a bull with the cape. Even Bellicoso enjoyed the lesson as the cape playfully swept over him. One day, when Araceli was at the ranch, she saw some men taking Peligro away. Bellicoso was frantically running back and forth as he watched his father being taken away. "What is going on?" Araceli asked.
"Peligro is going to the arena for the bullfight today,"
a ranch hand told her. Later, when Araceli went to feed Bellicoso, he escaped from the pen. Araceli chased after him, but she could not catch him as he ran the whole way to the arena. When he got there, he saw his father through an opening in the bull ring. Peligro fought brilliantly, but he was no match for the matador. Araceli caught up to Bellicoso just before the matador made a deadly strike to Peligro. Bellicoso was heartbroken after he saw his father defeated, knowing that he would never see him again. Araceli was surprised by the sorrow she felt for Bellicoso and Peligro because she had once only seen them as fierce bulls. Bellicoso hung his head in silent sadness as Araceli walked him back to the ranch. Over time, Bellicoso became more and more angry about losing his father. He wanted revenge on the matadors. The only thing that made Bellicoso feel better was the time he spent in the field with Araceli. At first, they would just sit together, looking up at the clouds. In an effort to cheer up Bellicoso, Araceli began playfully chasing him back and forth, but then she started to almost dance with him using her ballet skills. Araceli would spin and jump to the side as he ran by. Then she began jumping over him, leaping and flipping in the air, sometimes even onto his back when he became big enough. "Come and get me," Araceli would say playfully to Bellicoso, and motioned with her hand for him to charge at her. Bellicoso grew larger and larger, but to Araceli he was always the loving little calf she first knew. Eventually, Bellicoso grew into a full-sized bull with full-sized horns, yet Araceli had no fear of him and he felt no anger towards her. To her, he would always be the little calf who licked her face, and to Bellicoso she would always be the friend who comforted him when he needed her. One day, the manager saw Araceli playing in the field with Bellicoso, and he yelled at her to stop. Bellicoso became angry and charged at him, but the manager hid on the other side of the fence where Bellicoso could not reach him. Because Bellicoso scared him, the manager decided to put him in the bullfight for the upcoming festival. When Princess Araceli was at the castle having dinner with her father, the king announced,
"There is going to be a spectacular bullfight during the festival, starring Matador Alejandro and the most ferocious bull ever, Bellicoso."
"No, he cannot fight Bellicoso," Araceli cried out as she ran from the room. But her father had no idea why she was so upset. On the day of the bullfight, a large crowd filled the arena, anxious to see Matador Alejandro battle the ferocious bull, Bellicoso. The king was sitting in his reserved area, wondering where his daughter Araceli had disappeared. He did not know that the princess had changed into her villager clothes and had gone to speak to Alejandro and the manager before the fight. Princess Araceli wished that she could go as herself, but she was still afraid that her father would be angry if he found out about her wanting to become a bullfighter. Araceli begged the manager not to send Bellicoso into the ring. Even Alejandro did not want to fight him because he knew how much Araceli loved Bellicoso, but the manager would not change his mind. Heartbroken, Araceli ran sobbing to the bullpen to give Bellicoso one last scratch behind his ear and say goodbye. It was time for the bullfight. Alejandro walked to the center of the ring as the crowd cheered. Next, Bellicoso stormed into the ring, filled with the same anger he had first felt when he saw his father lose in the arena. Bellicoso recognized the matador. It was Alejandro, Araceli's friend, but he quickly remembered that there were no friends in the bullring.
"Toro! Toro!"
Alejandro shouted as he held out his red cape. Bellicoso put his head down, stomped his hooves, snorted a fiercely loud snort, then ran full speed at the matador, but he only felt the red cape brush over him. "Olé!" the crowd cheered. After charging at Alejandro several times, Bellicoso became very tired. Alejandro knew it was time to finish the fight, so he pulled out his sword. He felt very badly because he did not want to hurt Araceli or Bellicoso, but he was a matador, and fighting bulls is what he was trained to do. Bellicoso made one more charge, but as he got close to Alejandro, Araceli's voice screamed out, "No!" Alejandro looked away when he heard the scream and was knocked down by the bull. The crowd stopped cheering when they saw their hero lying on the ground. Bellicoso turned and saw the helpless matador. He stomped his hoof 1, 2, 3 times, snorted a loud snort, then charged at Alejandro. But Araceli jumped in between Bellicoso and Alejandro, held out her hand and shouted, "Stop!" Bellicoso immediately put his hooves on the ground and slid to a stop just before running into Araceli. The last thing Bellicoso wanted was to hurt his friend. "Alejandro did not hurt your father, and he does not want to hurt you," Araceli shouted. "This needs to stop. Things do not need to be this way." Alejandro stood up, broke his sword across his knee, and threw the pieces away.
"I am sorry. I should have refused to fight."
Alejandro apologized. Suddenly, Bellicoso felt as if a great weight had been lifted off of him. He no longer felt angry. Instead, he felt a calming peace. When Alejandro apologized, he let go of the things that made him feel badly. He started to see the wonderful things in life again, like watching clouds in the sky, the smell of grass, and playing in the field. This was the power of forgiveness that he felt. "Come and get me," Araceli said as she motioned with her hand. Bellicoso ran toward her, just as if they were back in the field playing. Araceli began to leap up in the air and flip over Bellicoso's back, to the amazement and cheers of the crowd. But they stopped when the manager ran into the arena and yelled,
"Stop playing! Finish the fight now! I command you!"
Just then they heard the king's voice bellow,
"I am the only one who commands here."
"Your Majesty!"
the manager and Alejandro both said as they turned and bowed. "Father!" Araceli exclaimed. Araceli started to say, but the king interrupted her.
"I could not be prouder of you. I have never seen such courage and skill in the arena. I have seen many bullfighters, but you are by far the bravest,"
the king told his daughter as he gave her a huge hug. "I was afraid to tell you," Araceli confessed to her father.
"I would have been afraid if you had told me,"
the king admitted to her.
"Your Highness,"
the manager interrupted. But when he spoke, Bellicoso immediately chased him to the edge of the ring and threw him into the air and out of the arena with a flick of his head. After Princess Araceli's amazing performance, the king decided to stop the deadly bullfights and make them non-violent. Acrobatic men and women called recortadores replaced the matadors. Princess Araceli and Alejandro worked together to make all the changes, while the crowd from all of the kingdom came to watch the recortadores perform with the bulls. A small part of the world was made more peaceful by the power of friendship, love, and forgiveness learned by one person and a bull.